Okay, welcome back to another episode of Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. In fact, it's episode 35, and we are creating certainty and meaning out of all this chaos and mayhem, right? And so, particularly in this episode, because we're going to talk about the 4D revolution, the 4Ds of this revolution, what they are, what they mean, and how they are going to take us to where we want to go, which is the fifth dimension, right? Let's see. All right, so as Nikola Tesla, who, as you know by now, is one of my heroes, he once said that all that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, combated, suppressed, only to emerge all the more powerfully, all the more triumphantly from the struggle. And what he's talking about there is that new paradigms, which is huge shifts in consciousness, go through three distinct phases. First, they are vehemently opposed. Second of all, they are ridiculed. And third, they're just accepted as being, well, everybody knew that, as being obvious, right? And so what I'm talking about here is going to be opposed. It's being opposed, the shift from the mind-driven society, from an ego-driven society to a fear-driven society to a heart-driven society, using our heart and intuition, and then using our brain as the servant of the heart is not going to go easy. It's not, people are not just going to, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? It's going to be met with vehement opposition. Then it'd be ridiculed. Oh, what are you, one of those heart people? What is it called? Heartism? What do you think you are, a heartist? It'll be ridiculed. And then down the road, people were like, you were thinking, you weren't in your heart, you fool. It'll be accepted as obvious, right? So Nikola Tesla also said that if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So what have we been talking about? This is a sacred geometric pattern found in temples and ancient buildings of the past, and it's called the flower of life. And within that is the seed of life, the egg of life, the tree of life, everything of life, right? Even the patterns of when a child is conceived and goes through the breaking up of the egg into different segments of the human body. It's in this flower. Yes, everything starts with vibration. These patterns are held in place simply by vibration. And it's a study, it's a science. It's called cymatics, right? And Hans Jenny has written a book about it, and it would be a good idea to check it out. It shows even the stripes on zebra are all from vibration. So we're created from vibration, this vibratory field. In the beginning was the word. If you say a word into your hand, what do you feel? Vibration. Sound is vibration. And that's where we are all created from and will return to. Anyway, in the meantime, this is a quote from Nigel Stanford, and I strongly recommend you go to his website because he shows how you can control things using frequency and vibration. It's a beautiful music. It's a profound website, and he's an incredible artist. Anyway, he says everything owes its existence entirely and solely to sound vibration, right? So what happens when, and you can see it in his videos, when he's sending frequency into different matter, sometimes water, sometimes it's just sound and articles on a speaker that vibrate, and they create these patterns, these sacred geometric patterns, right? So we saw this pattern here in cymatics, this beautiful geometric pattern, and all these pressure points here are held in place simply by the frequency. And these put pressure on the water of in the water of our bodies that then pass over our DNA. And eventually, if we can hold these higher vibrational patterns in our water for long enough, they can break open parts of our DNA that have been lying dormant, that we've yet not actualized. But it means higher vibrational energy, highest vibration, love, right? In our body, in the waters of our body, that will eventually break open this hidden potential, which will be even greater than AI or even quantum computers. Those things, as I've said, these technologies are outward expressions of inner potential that lies within us, all right? So, as we go through this breaking down cycle, right? So the patterns reach a certain level of complexity in the water, right? And then they break down. And they seem to go into chaos. But what's happening in that period is that the frequency is building a new pattern to break open again into an even greater, more complex pattern, a higher level of consciousness. So right now, everything is breaking down, and these 4 Ds are going to bring it back around again, right? So the first D is destabilization. We got 32 wars going on right now. Look what's happening with Hamas and Israel. And I keep using that as an example, but there are many, right? Azerbaijan and Armenia, and there's so many, right? All over the world. This one has caught our attention because the media has grabbed hold of it, because the United States and Israel are heavily involved, and of course, it draws our attention. Now, this 4D revolution starts out, number 1, destabilization. So, and these things have been prophesized. Remember, that prophecy in the Bible? There will be wars and rumors of wars. Well, there's rumors of wars too, isn't there? Right? So this vibration is in a chaotic state, a destabilizing effect. There are 32 wars going on right now, and there are rumors of wars. I mean, for example, Taiwan, right? That the Chinese do own Taiwan, depending on who you listen to and, whose story you believe. And so they might be going in to take Taiwan back. And we can't let that happen because Taiwan produces all the chips. They hold all the chips. And the way of life here is determined by those chips. We don't have the chips, everything fails. So we are heavily invested in making sure that Taiwan does not fall under the control of the Chinese, who would then control our economy. And so we've also got chaos and destabilization in the global economics. All these countries have so much debt that they cannot repay. And so it's all starting to break down. The financial system of the world is breaking down. What's going on with climate, which we'll get into in future episodes and give you clarity as to what is really going on, because climate has been politicized and it's causing destabilization. The arguments between is it happening, is it not happening, or how is it happening and where, and all those things. Well, I've got science to show you what is really happening so you have clarity and you know what's going on and you know what to do. Okay, so there's lots of disinformation and misinformation. And of course, AI is just going to exacerbate this, right? So AI is a double-edged sword, just like the internet, right? You got the dark web and you got the internet. You've got people that go on there and do great things, and you got people who are disruptive. The same thing is happening with information. So as AI is going to enable us to do all kinds of things we'll get into in a minute, it also can be used to create disinformation. I mean, last year, the Pope was wearing a puff jacket, apparently, right? But there was a picture that looked real, and everyone was going around, dude, the Pope's really got hip, right? But it wasn't true, right? So, fake news, where these news stations now are politically controlled, right? They've got certain political agendas, and so they push those agendas, and people tend to gravitate towards the agenda they like. And so it reinforces this. But now we have conflict everywhere. We have polarization, popularism and polarization, all destabilizing. Mental health. People's mental health is breaking down. We have an epidemic of people who are suffering from mental health issues, and they've nowhere to go. So what do? Well, they usually go out and shoot people. I'm making light of it. It isn't light. But we have more mass shootings every day, right? So every day, there are multiple mass shootings on average, right? So we have more mass shootings in a year than there are days in a year, right? Now, I understand there's an issue with gun control, and we need to look at it. But at the end of the day, it's not just guns. It's the mental illness that's happening because it's breaking down. This frequency is pushing this energy out of us. We're going out of our mind. Where are we going? Into our heart, hopefully. Right? So social structures are breaking down. This vibration is shaking everything, right? So who do we trust? Where is the truth? Where do we go? You know. Yeah, we got to go back to our heart. We have to go back to our divinity. We have to go back to our connection to the divine, right? And we have that ability. We don't need intermediaries, which is something else we're going to talk about. Everything we need is within us right now. And we have to start using the tools and the resources that we've been given to do so. And it takes us to a higher level of awareness so that as we connect to our divinity, we connect to our heart is connected to the earth, the earth is connected to the intelligence of the universe. And so we can see from a higher perspective and just know what to do. How much easier is that? I know. Is it going to be easy getting there? No. Why? Because you got to practice playing your heart, the strings of your heart, the instrument. You're going to get good at this. Are you going to be perfect right away? No, you're going to go, my intuition says kill that person. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. No. You get my point? We've got to get good at it. We've got to practice. We've got to get used to being in our heart and listening to our intuition. It's a journey. So the first D in the 4Ds, the 4D revolution, is destabilization. It's happening all around us in our own lives and in the world. So notice it, recognize it's part of the process. Do not get drawn into it. Do not become fearful. Fear not, right? Be focused on just being centered, not being pulled, because this energy is going to pull you. And it's up to you to be faithful to your heart and intuition. So, in the next video, we're going to get into number 2 of the 4 Ds. In the meantime, practice playing the strings of your heart and sapere ord. Dare to be wise.